as is common, projects are usually made up of more than one developer, and usually one of those developers is going to be a senior developer, senior software engineer, or a software architect, or even the project manager, or even the program manager. And people need access to your code base, and if they are a contributor, in other words, somebody who is writing code, completing tasks, and need the ability to commit to your repository, those people have to be added to your project as what are called contributors. Now, if you're on your Hello World project page, it's usually on the code tab, and you can see your README file. Up here, you'll see a contributor tab, and right here, it'll show you the different people that are contributing to your project. Right now, since this is a brand new repository, it's our first one, we're the only contributor. We're the only ones that have the ability to push code to our repository. Now, we made our repositories public, which means anybody can clone them or pull the code down, which is really good for a portfolio, but no one can actually push to it except for us. So if we need to add somebody to our code base so that they can pull and push to our code base, we're going to go ahead and add them as a contributor. In most cases at Neumont, as you're working through your coding and software engineering classes and your project, as well as your project classes, you're most likely going to need to add your instructor, as well as perhaps other students that are working on the same project with you in project teams. You're going to need to add them to the repository. To do that, we go to the Settings tab in GitHub, and we go to the Collaborators section within Settings. And here, we look for other GitHub users that we can add to our repository as contributors. In this case, currently, I am logged in as tclark@neumont.edu, and I'm acting like I'm a student. Let's say that my professor is Tim Clark, who is known as Schleichermann on GitHub. So that's my other profile, which is my non-Neumont profile. Let's say that he is the teacher, and I need to add him as a collaborator to my repo, my Hello World repo. Well, I go into this collaborators section of the Settings tab, and then I look up that person. Now, you can look up people by their username, if you know what their username is. If you remember, right here, it's T. Clark Neumont was the username I created when I signed up for GitHub. But, and my other account, my non-professional one, is Schleichermann. And so I can look me up by that, or you can do it by their name if you know what their name is. So I can say Tim Clark. It looks like there's a ton of Tim Clarks. So I'm going to go back and just use the actual username that I know. So you can have your teacher as well as other students provide you with their actual GitHub username. Come in here, search for it, click on them, and then click Add Collaborator. Now here, you've just invited somebody to collaborate on your project, and you can cancel at any time. You can remove them as a collaborator. But while you're working on the project as a team with other students, everybody needs to be on that project, and then you'll want to add your instructor as well. So your instructor can, at times, perhaps download your code, look through it, do a code review, and then maybe edit your source files with comments saying, hey, you might want to look at this, you might want to fix this, this is a security threat. And they could actually provide you inline feedback in your source code and check it back in. So that is extremely useful for instructors. So make sure you pay attention, and if an instructor asks you to add them to your repository for a project or a course, make sure you go through and add them as a contributor.